trying very, very hard to keep me out this game. I just got one question. What you afraid of?
I think we're gonna be friends.
Hardly. You niggas everybody just bored to the party. Standing outside in the cold rain, looking through the window, see you turn it up like car keys. So low with the mind frame, but I came with my game, cause ain't a damn thing gon' change. Stayed in my lane, fry label pace, sippin' Dre, saying to myself when 8 years gold change. So I focus on the game plan, to put them all on the knees like they about to say amen. Got them crying like Rayman, ain't a strange man, all I wanted was the screens for the bandstand. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you'll be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory.
The clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the
We're gonna
glory.
be friends.
Remember that little scroll talking about what he's gonna do to obtain success. He was 10 toes down, made progress, while the congregation hated like Congress. I can't say I have a status, but Nipsey brought the hustle back, so now the bosses got this. We about the block back, can't stop that for the suburbs on the way to the projects. No longer treated like objects, tossed to the side, we glide, no matter with the weather. I remember living hard, so I have to stay fly, so baby, you fucking with a treasure. This ain't like a scary movie, and it might just be a little bit gory. Nothing else is gonna stand in between me and glory.
We're gonna be friends.
suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm
I
coming for
think
the
we're gonna
glory.
be friends.
My mom told me not to ever let these cowards play me. You lose it all in the blink of an eye. So true, while they pointing at the white man, they planted on my back while holding a big knife. Now they're gonna need a crossbow, cause I need 50 feet before I take a seat. Back to the wall, no room for slipping. Let me see it all when it comes to take a G. There's no fakery, the money come fast like a sale at the trap bakery. You could be kidding me, I'm still here to sweet lick like you some kind of candy man. This is for the time I spent. I know that baby out there is checking for me. I guarantee it's not me, but the glory.
I think we're gonna be friends.
suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm
I
coming for the
think we're gonna
glory.
be friends.
BOSS Radio, Southside Bosses, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts.
As Mr. Flavor, I am proud to bring to you Mr. E, the music maestro.
What it is, everybody, what it is, everybody, what it is. This is your boy, Mr. E, Boss of the Southside Bosses, coming to you here live on BOSS Radio's Talking, but ain't saying nothing for the first time in 2022. So I hope y'all loving it right now. I hope y'all enjoying this year because, hey, we have nothing but 364 more these days. So either you love it or hate it.
I'm mad if you hate it, because that's gonna suck for you. Shit, you gotta start the new year off right. So start this new year off right by going ahead and liking, following, subscribing to all of our. You can find us on any streaming service: iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Deezer, and more. We also can find us on Facebook at Boss's Retreat and BOSS Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Southside Boss Connection. You can also find me personally on Instagram at Boss of the Southside Bosses. Don't forget to swing by SBCmovement.com, our official website. That way you can check out the latest up and coming or banging already reggae artists. And we're also going to get back into the hip hop scene really soon. We have some great things that's already lined up for 2022. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, turn up and zone out for that. And if you ain't already liked us, you still slipping. Like us and then share us to your family and friends. Let them know they missing out on this. If they missing out on it, they slipping on their pimping and slacking on their macking. And I'm telling you, I ain't never slacking. So make sure y'all get it racking, all right? So, right now we got a special guest in the building. I'm going to let him introduce himself. He may not want to give his government name. What it is, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Already. Mate, my fault. Let me turn your mic on. There you go. All right, what's good, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Already, man. Yeah, you want to introduce yourself to the world? Let them know your persona?
You can go by Vic.
Already. But now we were just sitting there bullshitting, you know what I'm saying, and talking, you know what I'm saying, so it's getting into some deep conversation, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I've known him for a few months now, and I didn't think he was ready for the conversation we were having, but apparently he was. So, you know what I'm saying, it actually led into some real deep things, you know what I'm saying. But right now we was actually talking about how a lot of people really don't know that the Atlantis Empire, the Atlantis civilization, they try to make it seem like it was just a city, it was a civilization, it was an empire. They try to make it seem like it had no connection with the Egyptian empire. And that's mainly because of how they use those words. Because we all know, if you've been listening to us for a while, man, Egypt was never called Egypt. Egypt was called Egypt by Greeks. And that was because they could not pronounce the real name, Hekupta. Hekupta was, or Kemet. You can use Kemet as well, but Hekupta was the eternal city that started Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And their civilization. But with the knowledge of what that we have, we think that we actually can say, "Oh, Egypt 500,000 years ago." Well, that was technically not an Egypt 500,000 years ago. So I mean, that's some of the things that you really got to understand. So, what was it? We was actually talking. We was talking about Thoth the Atlantean being Tahuti, the Egyptian. So, people who know anything about the Emerald Tablets, like we said, the Emerald Tablets is pretty much Thoth the Atlanteans. What most people would call a religious text, but it's not religious. Any text that's used in religion is not a religious text. Let's put that out there. The Bible, not a religious text. It is a testimony, and it's pretty much the Most High God's testimony through the Hebrews' culture, through their history. You know, think about it. He starts off by talking to Adam, then he don't talk to nobody again until Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then who was next? Moses. He talked to Moses after that. Yeah, but he didn't talk to nobody else. He talked to the prophets after that. That was it. But mainly, you see a lot that has all these correlations, and you really do not understand how. That's what makes you think that they're hypocritical or contradictory or things of that nature. What was something else we was talking about earlier? My fault, I had to turn that TV off. But yeah, we was talking about something else earlier. I can't remember. What was a good topic that we was talking about? Higher self and lower self. You was asking. Tell me, what was it that you were saying about it being external?
Like talking about how some people be talking about like God or Jesus being an external being, not necessarily within oneself.
Right. And that's when a lot of people really haven't learned how to apply the knowledge that, because they haven't been really given knowledge. I'm going to tell you right now, people really have not been given knowledge. They haven't been given real religion, real spiritualism, because if they did, then they would be able to do exactly what you just say, be able to internalize it, be able to make it them.
And then you wouldn't need the preacher or the pastor.
Exactly. You wouldn't need the preacher or the pastor. And what's that's going to do their pockets?
They don't kill their pockets.
They ain't trying to hear that. They ain't trying to hear that. So they're not going to give you the religion, because if they gave you the real religion, you'll be able to peep their game, and then their game will be over with. So what you're supposed to be doing, and I really do like talking about this topic. It's been a long time since I talked about this topic, so bear with me. God said in Genesis, we create man, we're going to make him in our image, and then he says in Psalms 82:6 that he and I'm using the Bible for people who are like, say that they're Christians but don't read their Bible. So go read your Bible. But he says that you are all gods, because you are children of the Most High. So that means that if we're gods too, and he said that he is the Most High God, anything that he made anything he made us is in the same image as him.
One and the same.
So that's why you need to internalize it. That's why you need to make it about you. So what happens with God? God ended up creating, or not creating, being himself. And being himself, he became the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He also became good and evil. And he says that himself. I got to find the scripture, but he does that. He says that himself in the Bible, that he is good and he is evil. He created both. Yahshua, or the one that they now call Jesus by false pretense, is his upper self, is his higher self, his most pure essence, and Lucifer is his lower self. And why would I say that? Think about it. What does Lucifer mean in Hebrew? It means the morning star. What is the morning star? Simply put, it's the sun. That's simply put, it's the sun. So if the sun is the morning star, and we turn around and we say that Jesus or Yahshua is the Son of God, that's where a correlation, because you actually have to study Hebrew and Greek, because when they talk about Yahshua being the Son of God, most of the time it's in Greek. But you do want to study when they prophesied about him in the prophets, and you know what I mean by the prophets. It's not the Old Testament, it's the law and the prophets. But the prophets actually states that he is the Son of God. And the Son that they use actually is the SUN version. They just do not print it that way because, why would they?
Why not?
Why would they?
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, if I knew that the Son of God was supposed to be the Son of God, I'm going to start looking at Egyptian mythology that says that Osiris is the sun god, or Amun-Ra is the sun god. I'm also going to look at Assyrian and Akkadian, where they say that Baal is the sun god. I'm going to start looking at all these sun gods, and then I'm going to start questioning, why are we going to church on Sunday? I don't know, that's just me though. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. I know me. I ask questions, and when I do, I get kicked out of churches. I ain't talking about churches chicken. I get banned from church. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me in prison. I was at this. I was really up there doing some research because I used to like being in the chapel's library more than I used to like being in the law. Not the law library, but the regular library. If I was in the regular library, it was because I was in the law library. So I would go into the chapel, they go into their library, and I would just be studying, and sometimes I get caught up in one of their services. And one night I got caught up in a Southern Baptist church service. A Southern Baptist, that's why I don't know if you heard that reference I made earlier. It was a Southern Baptist preacher up there preaching his ass off. He was preaching his ass off. And he was sweating and everything, wiping his forehead every 30 seconds and all. I'm talking about that handkerchief was and gone. It was done. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was done.
Wring it out.
Yeah. You have to wring that motherfucker. Exactly. So I wait till the end of the service, and he's the whole time he's preaching that if you're not a Southern Baptist, you gonna go straight to hell. You gonna burn in hell, and you gonna do this, you gonna do that. And I'm like, ugh. See, one thing I noticed about Christianity in the United States, not Christians, Christianity, the form of religion that came from Paul, they are quick to threaten you. They quick to try to use a scare tactic. Love has nothing to do with scare tactics. That's why Joshua never said anything about hell or hellfire. He didn't. He did. The one time he did say that, it was in a parable, because people were being brainwashed into believing there was a hellfire when there is nothing in the Bible that actually states that. Matter of fact, Revelations say that hell will be thrown into a lake of fire. Not is a lake of fire. I wonder where that came from. You gotta do your own research though. We already talked about that. But anyways, so I asked him about that. After the end, you know what I'm saying, he's meeting people and stuff, and I'm on my way out. I didn't attend the service because I wanted to attend the service. Let's get that straight. But I get in and I ask him about that, and he blew up. You are a blasphemous, heathen, pagan. And then he was calling me a criminal and all time. Okay. I mean, I don't really care because it was funny to me. I wanted to die laughing, which I should have did, because I ended up the chaplain who runs the chapel pulled me to the side. Said, hey, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be welcome in here no more. We can't let you come back in here. So I don't even know if maybe he was kicking me out because I caused a disruption, which I know I did. I caused a disruption. I just asked the question. But that's what happens when you ask questions, and that's what happens when you read books.
Questions disrupt.
Exactly. So was it the question that I asked, or was it me actually being a nuisance? That's what they got it right there too. They are going to blackball and make everybody, they're going to ostracize anybody who is not going to follow their game plan, which is going to make other people be like,
anyone who opposes them.
Yeah. So anybody else that want to oppose them going to be like, oh, I don't want to be done like that. So I don't know. That's the reason why I try to stay away from anything that's not in the Bible. I mean, I also do the Quran, and also do the Emerald Tablets, also do the Medu Neter, because they all tell the same story, but everybody is so brainwashed into thinking it don't, because people want you fighting each other. That's it. But it's 2022. If you don't know some of this stuff by now, it's because you chose to be ignorant. And that's just straight like that. I mean, it's right there. All the knowledge is right there at your fingertip now, but y'all rather be on fucking Candy Crush. Speaking of Candy Crush, I'm missing that game. I ain't been on that in a minute. Yeah. But, I mean, it's and then and for the people that I be just talking to your family about it. You know the truth, but you don't even want to be ostracized for your own family. Guess what? I am a living pariah. I made my family. I made my family because my family straight don't even want nothing to do with me. They don't want nothing, and I'm all for it. Because simple fact, I'm not going to take bull. I'm not going to take that nonsense, that trash. You ain't going to tell me a lie. You ain't going to tell me a lie and then sugarcoat. First of all, what you ain't going to do is hand me a pile of shit with some fucking sprinkles on top. You know what I'm saying? No, you ain't finna tell me fuck wrong with you.
You ain't gonna tell me it's some roses.
Real talk. You know, so I mean, so when I call out shit is because I see the bullshit in it. So it's up to you just to be able to make it make sense. If you can't make it make sense, just question the people that taught you that. tell them to make it make sense, so you can come back and make it make sense to me. And if they can't, then you tell them they need to go question the people that taught them. Somebody need to get some straightened around here. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know why that's so
That's
much.
why I be saying. I be like, y'all can't get mad at us because we learning from y'all.
Exactly. Like what you expect.
You only get mad at for what you only get mad at us for what y'all didn't do.
Exactly, and then more than likely, if we did something you didn't do, it actually prospered with us.
Exactly, and then what we don't do, our kids gonna do.
Exactly, and I'm hoping they do what I didn't do better than I could have done.
Yeah. Hopefully, only good though, not bad.
Right. This is my thing too. Why do we keep saying this nonsense about we gotta protect the children's innocence? Tell them there's a Santa. Wait, you want me to protect my child's innocence by lying to them? That sounds like the total opposite. I just taught my child it's okay to lie.
Yeah.
So
when they get older, they're gonna do the same thing.
Thank you. So don't slap that kid in the mouth when he lied to you. You better slap yourself in the mouth. Be like, I started it. I got it from you. The fuck? No, you didn't. I don't lie. No, I know you could have got it from me. Shit, so let me come and bring your ass in. I just don't. I never understood that. I'm sorry. I don't tell my children there's a tooth. I never told my children there's a tooth fairy. Hell, I went as far as telling them they're not kids. The definition of a kid is a baby goat. Exactly. My children is not goats. But you know why they got us calling them kids? Because the school system is, by every definition, by every detail, by every fact, a institution for animal husbandry. Animal husbandry is how you train an animal to do whatever you need it to do. And they told you that that's education.
How do you feel about the people that say like the school system is similar to the prison system? Having been in
the school to prison pipeline is so real. The school to prison pipeline is so real. From the cafeteria to the schooling to the getting them to do projects outside of school. And I get what they try to say. It was supposed to create a sense of having a community. But guess what? If anybody who has ever been to prison will tell you that it's a community and a whole ecosystem within its own right in prison. Just because you locked up don't mean you can't have a life in there. Mm-hmm. And that's what they get you ready for. That's the animal husbandry. You either do that. You either go spend 40 years of your life giving 40 hours a week to us, so that we can pay for you 40% of what you made all your life.
Or you go sit in jail.
Or you go straight to prison and we just take care of you and you get to do whatever we tell you to do. At least you get 100% free rent, free bills, you know, free food. There's 3 hots in a cot. You get that. See, and most people are going to be like, well, you got to make it, you got to, what they say? Your own choice. You got your own choice. No, I don't. I'm limited choices. Because my own choice was to go out there, find me a fucking piece of land and build a house on it. Because I can't own all the land and you can't own all the land. So if you got a piece of land you say you own, but there's nothing being done to it, you don't own that land. Because in the Bible it says that a man shall get his land and he shall till that land so that it can bring forth fruit. If you ain't tilling that land, then you need to give it up to somebody who will, and that's actually a law. That's actually a law. If you see a house that hasn't been tended to in so long, you can actually go through the necessary procedure to actually acquire that house from. Because what the state going to do is or the city, it just depends on who got the jurisdiction. They're going to garnish that house from that person because they're not taking care of it, and it's bringing the property value down of the people who own houses around them.
Mm-hmm. And so long as you bring the property value up,
exactly,
they're gonna let you stay.
And guess what? They have banks that have special loan programs for people who do that. Yes, go look it up. This is what researching is. You got to understand what you're talking about. So yes, I do know for a fact that the school to prison pipeline is the same thing. You know why? Because when I went from school to prison, I didn't miss a fucking beat. It felt the fuck the same. I got in so good over there, I made it my own. Prison is the only place I ever made my own. I had that, look, I'll tell you what happened. I get locked up there, right? And in Atlanta, when I was growing up, I had affiliation with Crip Gang. So that was on my record when I went to prison in Florida. Mm-hmm. And the gang sergeant there tried to get me to be one of her snitches. And I said, I'm here to do my job, do my time and go home. I ain't with that fuck shit, because every real nigga that's ever put up the seeds, no. Hell, the B's, VLs, LKs, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you threw up your flag, you know that your mission when you get locked up is not to bang in prison. Your mission is to do your fucking time and go home so you can start to feed your family again. Because now your family is feeding you, and they got more shit to worry about. Be less of a burden on your family. That is a law. Every real nigga know that. But these little pussy ass motherfuckers out here, they go to prison, they get scared. So guess who is the biggest gang on the fucking compound? The Crips. It's full of scared bitch ass little niggas. So I'm trying to just stay low key. Here comes Sergeant fucking Whitby putting my information out on the whole compound, telling them, hey, y'all got a Crip that ain't paying taxes. Paying what? Bitch, I'm in prison. This is free. Everything here is free. Y'all ain't paying taxes for it. I ain't even paying for this shit, let alone paying taxes. Let alone paying taxes to a motherfucker who's in here with me. Where do you do that at?
I'll be damned.
Man, you right. You goddamn right. I'll be damn so bad that I shut that shit down. Yeah.
You gonna try and take from me?
That. You gotta be fucked up. And so, and the thing about it is, I ain't even got nobody sending me money. I'm getting mine from the muscle. I went to the kitchen. Once I got in the kitchen, I got in that bakery, and I got my hands on fried oatmeal.
What's that like?
Oh my God. You melt the butter down, then you put the brown sugar in there, and then you put the oatmeal in there after you melt the butter down, and you stir that bitch together, and they come together like a granola bar. So I got clever with it. I started getting the big jugs of peanut butter, and I start my shit. When I go in the morning, I put that bitch up under hot water and let that bitch run all day. Because when you put that big jug up under hot water, that peanut butter turns to real butter. I'm talking about so smooth. So when I get ready to put them fucking oatmeal in there, I put that peanut butter in there with that butter, and then that butter breaks it down because it's hot. And then I add that motherfucking oatmeal. Oh my God, I have every bodybuilder on it like it was heroin, nigga. Hey man, I need my fix, man. Hey, nigga, I would bench press you. I know, nigga, calm down. I don't know when I got you that big. Shut up. I got you. Shit. So I'm getting, listen, because with that one, I'm getting, with one bar, with one, like, I'm weighing them out to 2 pounds. So with 1 2-pound bar, I'm getting my hygiene for the month. Yeah. I'm getting my hygiene bar. I'm getting 20 soups. I'm getting 20 chips, and I'm getting 20 honey buns.
For one?
For one. I'm coming out with 8, 9 at a time every day. I'm loaded. I became the store.
That's like you good.
I'm telling you, I became the store. What I would do is I would just tell, because this is how I got hated on after the, because when I shut down, because the Crips tried to come to me talking about I got to pay taxes or whatnot. I'm like, me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was that I was like, I said, you know what, man, who the fuck is the leader? Let me talk to the leader of this motherfucker. So they bring this punk ass little white boy named Hornbeck. Skinny, scrawny. For one, Crips stand for Colored Reproduction in Progress. Colored. White isn't a color. Why is he leading shit here? Then I find out he ain't nothing but a foot soldier. So what the fuck? And then my homeboy said, yo, the way that they do things here, they challenge. If you challenge the leader, you have to outspit them in knowledge. You have to outstack them, like with your hands and throwing up signals and stuff like Folk Nation do. And you have to outfight. As long as you can do two of those 3 things, you good. I'm like, oh, I already know I got knowledge. I know how everything was started. This is what we used to sit down and talk about for hours. So I see why my uncle was straight from Riverside, California. So you know, he used to school the fuck out of us. And
So I got the and fighting. I see this little punk motherfucker over there. Let's see, know some fucking Tai Chi or some shit. I don't give a fuck about this little bastard. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck him up. That stacking shit, Crips, real Crips don't stack. Some Crips roll, but they don't stack. So anybody out there that's saying they blue and you listen to this and you stack, you're really a folk. You run up under the six, don't you? Yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, back to what I was saying. So we get to the thing, or they come out to the greenhouse. The greenhouse is pretty much a handball court, but it's painted green. So we out there, we talking and whatever. All right, what up. So he come with this is the knowledge that he comes with. He said, how many bricks in a yellow brick road? I said, I don't know because I am not a G. I am a C. And real C's throw their C's up high. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even that ain't even nothing to me. That's folk. He asked another folk nation question. Then he asked another folk that I keep throwing him. That ain't our shit. So they was like, well, you gotta ask him questions. And I said, when was Crips started? Where was Crips started? Who started Crips? Couldn't answer not one. Motherfucker say California. I ain't ask you what territory, nigga. I asked exactly where did Crips get started because there's an answer to that. If you don't know the answer to that, you really ain't shit. Sorry. Oh, I ain't know you ain't know that. Now you know that. So stop putting yourselves in danger out here over some fucking because you like the color blue. and a lot of Crips don't even bang blue. They bang red. And you don't even know about that. You know what I'm talking about? The original colors was red. Y'all don't know that because you don't know history. But anyways, so it get down to it. He want to stack. I'm like, man, Crips don't really stack. So you got this one. Whatever he just did, I don't know what the fuck he just did. He just put up his rank. I don't care. Anyway, he got that. I don't really care. So the next one was y'all got to fight. Man, I beat that motherfucker so bad. Tampa, which most of the Crips was from Tampa, or most of the Crips that was most of the people that was claiming to be Crips were from Tampa. So the motherfuckers said they want to pop off now because they ain't got no. You can't. When I took over, I was like, I'm shutting this shit down. Ain't no motherfucking shit because I want to do my time and go home. I ain't got time to be doing this shit every time some new Crip come on the compound and say he want to run shit. I ain't got time for that shit. So I say, you know what? This motherfucking band. So all the motherfuckers from Tampa, and that's why I got locked up is in Tampa. So they see the T on my tag. They trying to get me to fucking pop off with them. I'm like, no. So they tried to pop off on me. Man, I had so many. I had Brown Pride. I had fucking Sutreses, Mexican Mafia. I had Spanish Cobras. I had Latin Kings. I had United Kings. Hell, I even had a couple of Bloods. Like, I ain't finna touch him. Because the fucking crystals, like, it was a little nuisance. It was like a whole bunch of young kids. So it was like, imagine having a whole bunch of young kids just running around the house. Fucking up shit. So once I got rid of them, people was getting their hustles on. I was able to get weed. I was staying high, man. Like, fuck that shit. But no, it was high school for me. It wasn't, don't get me wrong, it was a dire predicament. It was way dire than high school. But it was still ran like high school. It was like high school on steroids or some shit. Yeah. So the prison pipeline, real. Yeah. They gotta keep us in line somehow. Look, they talking about aliens. Some people call them aliens. Some people call them angels. Some people call them gods.
What do you call them?
I call them ancestors.
Why is that?
Because they are ancestors. That's just self-explanatory.
Like, how do you know?
You think we're from here? You think we're from the third rock from the sun? We just so happened to just blossom here?
I don't know.
We didn't. And it was at one point at that time I had an elder that broke it down in the Bible so smooth. That's how I know that Adam wasn't the first, by the Bible, he wasn't the first man. You do know that, right?
Somewhere in there, I think it said he was scared of somebody.
Maybe, but the one I'm talking about, Genesis chapter 1, on the 5th day he made all the animals. By the 5th day he made all the animals, the birds, the fish, and the land creatures. And on the 6th day he created man. So animals was already here. But in Genesis chapter 2 he creates Adam. So that Adam was lonely, so he started to create every beast of the field, every fowl of the air, every fish of the sea, and bring them to Adam to see what he would call them. After he named all the creatures, he found that there was no helpmeet for him. So he put Adam to sleep, took his rib, created Eve. Now, that does not deny that women was here first. Because women was here first. Women were here first. Women were here first. It does not deny that story. Does not. That's not what that story says. What that story says is pretty much that the woman that Adam ended up that became Eve is of his bloodline, and it started us. It eventually started to where it became us. But there was other humans on this earth, and no, they weren't the Caucasoids. They weren't the Caucasoids. They wasn't the Aryans. They wasn't the Visigoths. They wasn't none of them. They wasn't the ones that y'all falsely call crackers. They came later out of the Ice Age. So that's something different. But yeah, why do you think we can't get rid of the common cold? We can't get rid of the common cough.
I mean, I don't know.
We've been living with the common cough since existence.
There's just nothing to cure it.
It's nothing to cure it because okay.
When something tickle your throat, you got a cough.
Yeah, but not just that's a cough. But I'm talking about the common cold. Common cold is more than just a cough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the common cold has all types of symptoms to it. But think about it. We came down to this earth, it was almost perfect. Because nothing's really perfect. Because if you're not from that, if you're not created of that, that's why we are the only ones on earth that actually have civilizations. We are the only species on earth that have civilization. Where did we get that thinking from? It's not earthly. It came from the heavens.
Yeah.
They are ancestors. We came down here, and now that cold is just a reminder. You're not from here.
If they're our ancestors, why don't they stop by and tell us?
Because look, you didn't see that meme on Facebook, whatever. It said, I bet aliens be just riding past Earth like, oh, roll your windows up and lock your doors, babies. We're passing Earth. Okay, it's safe now. It's safe. We can let the windows down now. They see this shit that we ghetto as fuck. We done degressed. We done not degressed. We have not progressed. We have congressed. We are not. I mean, think about it. Most people's pineal glands are calcified right now. That's just the tip of the. You know what the pineal gland is, right? Mm-hmm. The third eye. That's the third eye that the Egyptians were putting on their hieroglyphics, and when you actually break open somebody's skull and pull the pineal gland out, it looks just like the hieroglyphic from tens of thousands of years ago. How did they know? Because they've been doing. They was doing
cutting people open.
Huh?
Cutting people open.
Yeah, they was cutting people open. That's how the Albions got here. You ain't never heard of the what's the name of that thing? It's called the Yakub theory.
No.
The Yakub theory is that our people were down there in Argentina, in that land that they now call Argentina, to be exact. This is a theory. Now, not saying it's true. But they were doing experiments trying to figure out how to cure that curse that was placed upon us where we die. You know, they were trying to get it to where we could live forever. Now, one thing people don't tell you is that in the process of living forever, you have to exchange one thing for another, and that's life for life. You can no longer produce. You become infertile. You cannot produce anything once you obtain immortal life. That's why. I mean,
I would have kids first and then do it.
Yeah, you have to. That would be exactly how the only way. But those kids would either have to die or have children.
Hopefully, they have children.
You feel me? Because they're not going to have that automatic immortality. But anyways, with the Yakub theory, we were trying to gain immortality, and we had a botched experiment which sucked all the pigmentation out of our skin in the nets. Well, not us, but in their experiments. And thing. The fuck. What's the word? The people that's in the experiment, the target of the experiment. That's not the word I'm looking for. Anyways, it took out all the pigmentation. So what they had to do is they had to, since they had happened to it like pretty much a whole generation of babies, they had to move them out of Argentina because of the hot sun that their skin wasn't gonna be able to withstand, and then take them up to Europe.
Yeah.
This is my thing with that theory. Melanin is not just to make your skin dark. We have melanin in our skin to protect ourselves from the sun. That's why it's in our skin. So when there's no sun to protect us from, it's going to go do other things.
Where did all those people go then?
What people?
The people that the pigmentation was like that.
They went to Albion, or now called Europe. That's why they're called albions, not albinos. Albion is an older word than albino. Albion.
Oh, and you're saying like that's like the lineage of the people.
That's what Yakub theory says.
Okay. Yeah.
My theory is that we as not black people, but melanated people in our skin, moved up there to the Europe area, and then after a while, ice age hit.
Yeah, and complexion
took away the sun. Nah, we don't need pigmentation. We don't need that melanin in our skin. So what happens to the melanin? Well, it is cold as hell. So we need to be able to protect the body from the cold. So we'll grow hair or fur. That's why Europeans' hairs, Caucasoid hairs, are a lot softer and stuff, and they long because it's like fur. You know what I'm saying? That's what the melanin had to do to protect their skin from being defrosting and all that stuff. And then they had to slim up the nostril because when you take in so much cold air, it makes things contract. I mean, just think about it. Look, ladies, it's a reason why we say stop looking at us while we get out the pool. You know what I'm saying? It's the cold. It does that for real. That's scientific. It's science. Follow the science. Anyways, so when you get your cold air hitting them lungs, the lungs gonna be like, ooh, they're gonna contract, they're gonna come together, and it's gonna make it hard to breathe. So what the nose had to do is they had to slim up the nostrils so that it can warm the air up, so that when it gets into your lungs, it's not as cold. Then instead of hair growing up because it's getting all that sun, you know, Asiatic people, not black people. I hate calling them black people because they're not slaves. Asiatic people hair grow up towards the sun because it is gaining that vitamin D, is gaining a whole bunch of nutrients and minerals and things from the sun. So it's going to grow like vegetation up. But if there's no sun, the hair is not going to know where to grow. This is why you find white people that be unkempt very easily. You know, their hair get messy. But it also has to worry about getting information from the brain to the body and from the body to the brain. And the only way you can do that is through the neck. That's where the spine goes. That's where the nervous system lives. Exactly. Long hair had to go down to protect their necks from blistering cold. I mean, I could go on all day, but I think you see the point. Oh, let me tell you how they got small lips and how English people got messed up teeth. This is my favorite. Okay, so what happened was, since it's cold as hell, there was no vegetation growing. There was no fruits, there was no vegetables, there was no grains, there was nothing that could grow out of the ground, so they had to hunt. They didn't know nothing about fire at the time, so they're eating raw meat. This is where cannibalism came from too. They try to make it seem like it's an African thing. It is not an African thing. Africans did not. Why would you eat a human when you got papaya everywhere? Oranges, bananas, coconuts, whatever you want to eat. And you're going to go eat a human? But if you ain't got none of that stuff, Bob, you looking real tasty over there, my nigga. I'm gonna bust you upside your motherfucker's cranium, nigga. Dig in, nigga. Shit. I'm sorry, nigga. Hey, you got blood? I can be quenched too. Shit.
Free drink and food.
Trying to tell you. So you gotta understand that when you eating this raw meat, they lips were so big, it's kind of hindering getting to that meat, especially when you're hungry and you're trying to get that meat between the bones.
Gnaw the meat off the bone, the gristle.
Exactly. You want to get the gristle. You want to get the gristle. So your lips, you pulling your lips back to get your teeth to protrude out. So that you can get all of that gristle. After a while, your lips
Just
are
like
going to get stuck. Exactly, right? Hey. Perfect. It was right on time. But that's how they ended up getting small teeth. And the reason why they ended up having their teeth grow like that is because eating raw meat is not good for you. Eating meat really ain't good for you. But eating raw meat straight off the bone is not good for you. So their teeth eventually would grow crooked because they are not built like canines' teeth. It's not built like we don't have sharp teeth in our mouth. We have flat teeth in our mouth with 4 fangs, 4 canines, and they're barely sharp. That's the way that herbivores' teeth are set up. Herbivores' teeth are set up flat. We're really supposed to eat more vegetation than we are supposed to eat meat. And, well, they didn't have nothing else to eat but meat. So, I don't blame them, but that's what it is. Yeah, once we start putting so much spookism about them and just look at it as reality. Look at this stuff as reality. This is freaking reality. There's nothing that can be said that can change anything about history and about reality except for whenever we decide that we're going to romanticize something. This is how we got Hercules being a god now, because he was one of the strongest men who happened to be a melanated man. He was melanated. Get out your feelings. He was melanated, but he was really big and really strong. He was like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of that time. And stories passed around about him that the only way that white people, Europeans, could explain it would be like he had to be the son of a god. Really? So you're not saying anybody can do this? No, anybody can't just do this. If they could, they would have done it already. He did. So somebody did do it already. And he was human. But we made him into a god. Just imagine. My boy Tupac gonna be a god in 500 years.
Like we said yesterday, I mean, he is amongst some people already.
I'm telling you. And they're gonna pass it down to their children.
And their children.
And their children. And their children. And it's just a matter of time. So that's why I like one thing that Pac said. Tell me if you can guess this. If you can understand this. Are you afraid to die, or do you want to live forever?
Are you afraid to die, or do you want to live forever?
Think that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
How does that make sense to you? Because if you're afraid to die, you want to live forever.
I'm not afraid to die, so I don't want to live forever.
But how does that statement? What do you think Pac meant?
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. What do you think he meant? I can tell you what he meant. Think about it. If you are afraid to die, you are never going to do anything to be remembered forever.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you're going to live forever, because you're going to die. As a human being, you will die. So you have to come to grips with that. Not be afraid of death.
Yeah.
And then you will be ready to do things that will make you not want to, like you will do things that you will make you remember to the end of time.
Yeah.
This is how Joshua got remembered to the end of time. He did the one thing that he knew would prove that he believed in the Most High God. He followed the law. And when he followed the law, the Most High God said, you know what? When they kill you, you ain't dead. You ain't dead. And that's because I want everybody to see if they follow my law, they won't die. So it's a lot of ooh, nasty astrology. Ooh. Am I thinking nasty enough, or is it not that nasty?
It's like getting like all the like negative stuff out of it, but they do have like the nasty part in it. Like,
okay. So this ain't for children. Heard.
No.
Understanding crystals. Okay. Yeah, I have a homegirl that wanted me to get start Actually, let me take that back. I just lied on fucking national radio live. No, I don't have a friend. She is my kid's auntie. And yeah, she was talking about crystals. Yeah, because she does crystals. She like gets their energy to radiate.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you can do. We got to talk about that then. I mean, we going live now. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and let her introduce herself because she may not want to give her government name. You already like they heard you. They heard you. They want to know who is that. You might as well introduce yourself now. It's too late. They want to know who is that. You gonna be rude?
Oh no.
You gonna be rude? Just say what's up. Yeah, we actually about to go. We're actually about to end this because you know it is the first day of the year, and we do have family that wants to actually hang out with us. But you know, if we down for another conversation, we can always pull it up. The mysterious guest over here is not going to tell you who they is, so you're gonna have now. Hey, $500 to anybody that can guess who that is and who don't know us personally. Yeah, you motherfucker thought y'all was winning easy $500. Y'all thought that. You can't know us personally. If you know what's up, if you know anything about any of us personally, fuck you. Don't answer this. You better not tell somebody else to answer. You know what? Let me just take that off the board. I'm taking that off the board. It ain't been a whole minute yet, so let me go ahead and take that off the board. I'm not. Fuck that. Y'all find out who that is. That's us on y'all. Already. But I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit more music. We may be out back after this song, but we may not be. And if we are, we'll go ahead and let y'all know. Y'all know how to go ahead and get all the notifications. You go to Spreaker.com, find BOSS Radio and get that link. Or you can just go to iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Deezer, and more. And just put in talking but ain't saying nothing. Follow us, subscribe, and every time we go, you'll be here. I swear. But this is Recoil by your boy personally, Mr. E the Gutter Baby in here. Boss of the Southside Bosses. Vic, you want to say anything to the people before we leave out?
Have a nice night.
Have a nice night. Can't get no more epic than that.
BOSS Radio.
Okay, God, let me talk to you for a brief second, Lord. Why is it the good always fall victim to the double-edged sword? This ain't more to the brave, or they keep chained on the shore. Scores of family to destroy because others wanted the sword. They golden now oil. Yo, listen, female left toy. You look into my mind and can you understand the recoil? I don't wanna be rude or even stick a finger in the womb. We are here with the wounds as we see love within the tomb. But we also see wombs and love what's come to light. Looking into the eyes of the passion to make you strive and I feel alive. No lie, even cry becoming a daddy save my life. I'll always be here to ride until the day that I die. So I thank you up above, but I wonder what kind of life hatred or full of love with they experience. What we see is common sense, but even common sense isn't common hands. It's full of shit. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Fired up. Like the end of the car, spit some ends on the car. Still felt like a sucker until I get that Benzo to park. Won't push a start, but this lawnmower won't start. So now I'm stuck in DC trying to cut this shit with no short. They know where to go for, so they set it roadblock. So I've been trained to be a train. I will put no stops until I put those drops in multiple bank accounts. Making these fakes breathe in via wait for them to bounce. I started with just an ounce of pride. Look where I'm at. Creative adversary to multiple rapid rants. Taking out the trash. Wait, that's been played out. Let me see if there's another way to say they phased out. Raised out the garden, they not weeds that can be smoked. No toke, I'ma choke them out before they make me croak. Watch their dirty mouth like soap, now talk correct. When you speak to your elders, use some respect. On fire. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Everybody wanna be Nipsey and Asbury. How you gonna be him when your heart is full of hate? Hypocritical irate. Nipsey stood for peace, even the Crips and the Bloods will peace. peace. So the streets, we got too many disease, losing the way epically. The troops are getting out, gaining momentum as we speak. You see, we need the deeds of kings of all degrees. They are poisoning our water and forcing it on our seas. Trapped in the vortex, asking their God for forgiveness. I wouldn't forgive you either for acting like bitches. We sold our soul for riches, of years and catching switches. Straight to our best, we wasn't hollering about no digits or commas. Yo, check Obama, we got the drama. When you escape with your life, if you get faced with the drama, I've adored my armor, so niggas get your palms up to drop you, motherfucker. I'm not gonna pick my balls up. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby. Please don't stop, it's too hot. We're taking it straight to the fire, baby.
BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio.